Hey everybody, it's Brandon Gustafson with Assisted Living Investing. Happy to have you here on the channel with me today. Excited to be going through something that is pretty exciting. I think a lot of you, as you get into the world of assisted living, you're a little bit familiar with what's going on, but we're gonna get into having a state inspection at a facility. So if you're interested in what that looks like, what happens, how to handle that, make sure you stick around for today's video. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. As we mentioned, we're going to get into having a state inspection at an assisted living facility today. We had one come up at our facility, actually both of our facilities recently, so I wanted to kind of share that process with you, what it's like and what to expect as you get into that. Before we jump into the topic, though, make sure you get over to assistedlivinginvesting.net. I can get you access to our free underwriting calculator there. I just made some updates actually to it, so you'll get kind of an updated version of it that has an extra tab and more information there. So if you are interested in kind of underwriting and getting familiar with what it looks like to start an assisted living facility, get over and get access to that underwriting calculator. I've got a few examples in there for you on the calculator, and working on building some courses for you actually right now. One is a business planning guide that has a business plan, overview of the calculator, and a few other bonus materials. And then I'm working on a 12-week course that will get out to you as quickly as possible. We're about halfway through the filming of those, and then we just got to get it into editing. So we're making progress there. If you want immediate access to those once they're available, get over to the website assistedlivinginvesting.net. We'll link it down below so you can get access to that free calculator and get on our email list. So for the topic today, having a state inspection. So basically what happens as you start operating your facility, there's a few things that's going to happen. One is you're going to have some like pre-inspection things that happen before you get your facility. They're going to kind of come look at it, make sure that it is still going to work as a facility, that there's no issues and things like that. Then typically within the first year of you starting your operations, you're going to have kind of a start-off inspection. And they come in and they look through everything and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're in compliance with it. They may give you a few things to correct as well as you go through that process. So it's something you want to be aware of. But they don't tell you when that's going to happen. And any subsequent surveys, subsequent inspections, they also don't tell you. They just show up, and this is a part of their process. So what happens is they'll come generally earlier in the week, and this is actually different in different states. So in Colorado for us, it is like a maybe 1.5 day, all day type of a survey, and they're going through deep stuff. In Idaho, they typically come on like a Monday or Tuesday, and they are there all week long, and they go through a whole bunch of stuff at the facility, including looking at your policies and procedures, going through kind of talking with staff and residents. They're looking at a bunch of different things and making sure that you are in compliance with the license that you have. What's scary about that is they just show up and they knock on the door and they say, hey, I am, or our facilities are open. They just come in and say, I'm Sally with the state to do your state inspection for your facility. And so one of the things you have to make sure that you do as you go through this is, number one, if your administrator is there, they'll know how to handle this. They go in and they say, oh yep, let's get you signed in, let's do the process of doing this, and then let's get you started with the inspection. If it's one of your other staff and your administrator is not there for some reason, they should be doing the same thing. They should do kind of the intake of a visitor, because the inspector is watching this and they're going to make note of it. So they come in, they should be, okay, let's get you signed in, let's get you checked in as a visitor, and then I'll call, our administrator's not here, let me give them a call and see if we can help you kind of get through the process. And then your administrator is going to be spending a lot of time with the state inspector, and they're going to just kind of be helping you. They're going to be kind of going back and forth and going through all the different policies and procedures and what that looks like. Now, once that state inspection is done, regardless of how long they've been there, they're going to give you an evaluation of how you performed. And generally, these are going to be things that you need to correct, and there are core issues and non-core issues. So core issue is, you're in jeopardy of losing your ability to function as a facility. These are bad things. And then there are non-core issues that these are things that you should be doing. Let's make sure that you're making corrections. And also in the different states that I'm in, they operate that differently. In Colorado, we have to develop a plan of correction. We call it a POC. And we have to write that, and we have to say, this was the problem, this is what happened, this is what we're doing, what we've already done to fix it, this is what we're going to continue to do to fix it, and this is how we're going to monitor it going forward. This is kind of a 5-step process for what we do. And then we have to submit those through an online portal up to the state. In Idaho, they just give us a list on the portal and basically tell us, you got to make some improvements here. We're going to follow up with you in 7 to 10 days, and we'll have a phone call, and you just tell us, what are the things that you're going to be working on to help make those corrections and get back on track, and what policies are you going to be implementing, and what's that going to look like for you as you kind of move along the process. So these inspections, they can be very scary and stress-inducing, anxiety inducing experiences for your administrator, for your staff, for your residents. Throws everybody off because they know that this person is here to see how things are going, and it just kind of creates a tense environment. But it's also needed. That's not to say that it's a bad thing to have the stress come from that experience. It's needed. You need these people coming in and making sure that you are up to date and you're current and you're following, you're being compliant with all the rules and regulations to operate an assisted living facility. So it's a good thing. It's just, you see it happen, and I always get a text from my administrator, hey, state's here, they just came in for an inspection. It's like, crap, let me know what you need, because I live out of state, and so I can't run over to the facility and be there and help out and getting policies and things like that. I have to be out of state and just kind of sit back and wait to see how it goes. Now, both of those surveys that we had here just the last 2 or 3 months in 2023 actually went pretty well. In Colorado, we had 6 or 7 tags that we had to correct, but none of them were core issues, and we were able to build out the plans of correction and got those submitted actually just last week. So that was good. And then the one in Idaho, we had 4 or 5 things that we had to make a few corrections on. And one of those was like our dishwasher didn't have a sanitation cycle. So we had to buy a new dishwasher. And we had a fridge that just kept shorting out. We couldn't figure out what was going on. And they said, we had done electrical work on in the wall, and it was still happening. So state said, you need to just buy a new fridge. So we were able to do those things. Really simple things. We had some issues with background checks, and we'll get into background checks in a future video, so make sure you stick around to the channel if you're interested in that. But we had some issues just kind of like tracking and documenting that those background checks were completed, and we just needed to develop a better process for that. So those were some of the issues that came up for us in the inspection, but we were able to get through them. But inspections can be scary. They, it can really rattle you and your administrator as you go through that process. But it's necessary, and you'll make it through it. So if you have had a state inspection, I'd love to hear about your experience with that. Comment down below, and let's kind of share your experiences with that. And if you're new to assisted living and you have questions about what a state inspection is and how it works, make sure you comment down below for that as well, so we can help you out through the process and understanding what's going on. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to chat with you about today. State inspections, how to handle them, and what it's like. So there, it's an exciting piece of owning an assisted living facility. If you haven't noticed, here on the channel, we're trying to make a few changes in getting you access to things, resources, and answering questions that you have as well. So if you have questions, things that you want to learn about as you're going on your journey to starting an assisted living facility, make sure you comment those down below as well, because I want to make content that is really relevant to you. I've been doing a ton of research, getting into a bunch of different Facebook groups recently, and trying to find information that's going to help you on your journey. So if you comment down below, I'll make sure we put that in the queue to get a video out that is kind of addressing the questions that you have. If you are interested in learning more about assisted living and how to kind of get started in the process, make sure you get over to assistedlivinginvesting.net, get access to the free underwriting calculator, and get on our email list. I've got a 12 email sequence that kind of gives you a 12-week outline that's going to go in line with the course that we're creating, that gives you step-by-step ways for you to get started on your assisted living investing journey. Excited to have you on the channel, excited to go through this process with you and coach you through the process of starting your own assisted living facility. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.